We're live?
No, we're live.
Okay, in what is surely going to amount to a gigantic disaster, this is Around Midnight for Tuesday, the 14th of April. And I am Joe Carbonetta. I am joined by the guys this evening, the usual crew. I've got Chevelle Devine and Todd Fluker joining me. How are you guys doing this evening?
We'll let you go first, Todd.
Yeah, I've been just enjoying Joe. His flow is normally pretty nice and smooth, but he's really like, and I'm just trying to. And tonight we have
You guys have no idea how much I am contending with here in the studio. I'm actually in the studio this evening. I've got Todd is Skyping in from locations west, and Chevelle is Skyping in from locations very farther east and a little bit to the north. And so yeah, it's I'm playing like all the instruments in the band right at the moment.
What are you doing, Todd?
Jim, pan,
Yeah,
laundry.
what are you doing, Todd?
Is that what
Seriously.
those guys do on the
Todd's
Jersey
gonna have
Shore?
fun. He actually doesn't have to push any buttons today, so he's gonna be like super active.
Oh,
He's gonna
wow.
pay attention to the conversation and have words to say.
You know, that would be awesome. That would be
Let me
awesome
jump
to
in on
see.
the conversation. Shut up, Chevelle. Good job.
Okay.
Brother.
All right. Well, so this is the first of the COVID casts. That sounds
Is that what we're calling them?
Yeah.
We should have had a meeting about that before you came up with that.
that sounds absolutely awful. It does.
Codecast.
But yeah, we are all sequestered in various locations, and so yeah, this is the COVID casts. So it's good to have you guys
You
here
can
because
tell by the facial hair on most of the cast, except for Joe. Joe's like a square that has to.
he
be
did take
shaved
off his
every
glasses
day.
though, so that's
wait. Oh no, I took off the glasses because sadly enough, I was looking at something that was just far enough out of my field of view that the glasses really made it look bad.
that's your face, Joe.
Oh, thank you. So again, I am Joe Carbonetta, and I am joined by Chevelle Devine right here. We're going to get his fancy lower third in. Yeah, I'm really slow on the buttons, guys. Sorry about that. And, of course, we have Todd Fluker. Todd, I don't even know what that is. Oh, and look at that.
I think it's a butterfly.
Skype is playing games with us now. Oh, well.
He's gonna get his shot at, man.
Yeah, what are you trying to do there, Todd?
Rock and roll. Yeah.
Okay.
He's such a weirdo.
All right. Anyway, what else is there to talk about besides COVID? So, CJ,
I hear the Lakers are having a good season. They're not losing.
wait. This is probably where I should throw in one of these.
Oh, see.
There you go. See, I'm gonna be
This
slow.
show
in
is
this.
just like all the rest. Your timing is awful.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, why don't you get us started there, CJ, with the
Me?
COVID factations?
Yeah, I was still trying to pull that up, actually. I only need you to stall for about 45 more seconds.
Is the internet's working a little slow for you tonight?
No.
Oh, you know what? Here's what I could do while you're trying to call that up. If you'd like to join in on our conversation tonight, we are live if you are watching on Tuesday, April the 14th. By the way, this is a very, very odd day for the Around Midnight crew. But if you are watching, you can give us a call. We are live. Call us at area code 951-356-6882. That's 951-356-6882. and you too can be part of the conversation and help Chevelle
Free.
stall for time.
What?
Yeah,
And it's free.
You know,
it's free this time.
And we do have to give a shout out, by the way. I'm glad that you brought that up, Todd. I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to all of the wonderful organizations that help make this show possible, which include Pasadena Media and the Arroyo Channel that we have been on for, well, on and off for about a year now. I don't think we are live on that channel tonight, but we're going to get back there. We really are. And it's no fault of theirs. This COVID situation has just kind of really made things difficult for everybody. It was one of those bizarre horror movies where everybody just had to bail out instantly. Like a nuclear bomb went off and we all had to run.
Yeah, you've seen those shots people have of, Old Town Pasadena or the 210 freeway or any freeway pretty much, and it's just a ghost town. There's just tumbleweeds. I did like. There has been a nice plethora of memes coming out of this situation, and that's been enjoyable.
Oh, do share. Do tell about the memes.
They're like, well, I heard that they were kind of all fake, but there was that one meme going around for a little while saying, "Oh, since all the people are not around, these animals are retaking over the town," and it shows a bear walking down Colorado Boulevard or something like that. But I heard somebody say all that stuff was fake, and then there was the memes that followed. Oh, now that nobody's at the beach, the pleiosauruses have finally come back.
I thought I'd get you some laughter there from the studio audience on that one, Todd.
Yeah. They're more visual memes. You kind of have to see them.
I think so. That clearly they're missing something in the translation. Although my humor is not quite like the rest of them. Anyway. So, CJ, have we stalled enough for you yet? I mean, are you...
Oh, shoot. I was supposed to be looking stuff up.
Oh, don't tell me he completely lost his...
I don't have specific numbers and statistics, and I'm not sure that we really need to get into all of that. If you want that crap, you can watch CNN. I think the biggest thing right now is people getting checks.
Checks? Oh, yes, the stimulus package.
The stimulus. Are you guys getting stimulated?
I haven't checked my account lately, but I'm not hopeful.
I heard
Todd's
a
getting some headphone love from the comment section over
there. Really? Oh wait. Let's get a single on those headphones again. So what does the comment say? I'm curious.
Sweet headphones.
Oh,
those are deluxe.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So go ahead there, CJ. You were about to drop some statistics on us. Well, I thought you were anyway.
Oh no. I mean, there's really it's more about conversation. For Pasadena in particular, Pasadena is actually kind of a hub in the region for any kind of emergency response. And I don't know what all they do have down there in the Rose Bowl, but I do know that they're prepared for just about any type of event. They routinely do drills for terrorist attacks or other types of threats. The fact that you've got JPL, Caltech, and all these other major intellectual institutions. There's also a pretty strong government presence. I believe FEMA and the Homeland Security both have offices. I know they had offices in Pasadena one time. I believe they're still there. So there's a very strong presence for emergency response. And that's where Huntington Hospital is, which is pretty much the emergency room for the region. So if it all goes south, Huntington is like ground zero where everybody's supposed to go.
Isn't that one of those COVID hotels that everybody was railing against?
Well, they have set up trailers in the Rose Bowl.
No, I mean the Huntington. Isn't it just like a hotel? I didn't know that was actually a hospital.
No. Oh no, Huntington Hospital is huge, man, and they've done major renovations on it within the last decade. They've
like the real brick ovens for the pizzas and stuff. I think they have a Starbucks in the lobby, don't they?
No, I think you're going a little over the edge on that. They might actually. I don't know. They probably do. They do have a pretty sweet little commissary down there. It's a very good hospital, and like a lot of hospitals, it's not without its problems. It has the politics that come with people not feeling like they're getting paid or treated properly as employees. And then you got a lot of sick people, and then you get a bunch of the people who just kind of wander in because they think every little, hangnail is an emergency, so they're clogging up the ER. But medical workers are kind of front and center for this whole thing. Medical workers, and I would say police officers before I said firemen. I don't know how involved fire is, but I know most of the time when people make a phone call, like cops are usually the first one that people want to go to. But
All
As
right,
far
well,
as getting information is concerned, one of the things I try not to do is to rely on mainstream media for my information, because they spend too much time talking about how terrible it is and not enough time talking about actual solutions or what kind of things people can do to take care of themselves, take care of their family. They'll throw in like 3 or 4 sound bites, and then they turn it into a political thing, and that irritates the hell out of me. This is not a time for that kind of bull crap. I understand it's an election year. It kind of screwed stuff up. I personally believe that may have been by design. I think I don't know.
Conspiracy.
you guys are totally shrinking.
I've been known to. I worked in Access for 25 freaking years, man. I'm known. I know conspiracies.
Yes,
I've heard it all.
Somebody tried to flip on a
There's
screen
nothing
share
new
or
to-
something, and now everybody shrank.
Oh,
Yeah, you told me to go look up statistics. Now the government's monitoring our feed.
Yeah, that's
Choking
it. Yeah,
your
they shrank you and Todd down to micro size. There we go. All right, now you're back to normal. Yeah, don't do that again.
and I was trying to share a screen. I was just looking up the facts behind the idea that I remember hearing the headlines about California might have herd immunity or something like that from previous exposure. And I was just looking up an article, and it says, yeah, it's nowhere near what it could be to actually be, what's defined as a herd immunity, or, give anyone any, any immunity to speak of, really.
Did
So
you want to put that
there
up for
goes
everybody to see,
that
Todd?
pipe dream down the tube.
Did you want to put that up for anybody to see, or everybody?
Yeah, I put it on the share screen.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Ah, look. Now we can see Chevelle for a minute there. And so what am I looking at,
Pushing
Todd?
all
Can you
of
explain that to me? I'm not.
Yeah, joke's on you, Joe. He just wanted you to look at a man's nips.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know why they chose that screenshot. I guess maybe that is what just screams California to them, is that a
Well, you
person
got palm trees in
with
the
a
background,
mask, still jogging,
with graffiti in the background.
All
Yeah.
right, but if you want to complain about Todd's choice of screenshots there, you can give us a call, 951-356-6882, because we are live and we would love to talk to you, and we're only here for an hour tonight too, so come on, make it snappy. Call us up and complain, because I don't know where Todd was going with that. What I do love is that every so often you guys just go to these little caricatures instead. That's pretty fantastic.
What they did do, I don't know if you guys knew this, but that Trader Joe's in South Pass actually got shut down temporarily because an employee there was tested positive for COVID. So I believe it was an employee, somebody there tested positive, so they temporarily shut down that Trader Joe's. We had a similar situation here. I don't want to make light of COVID, but I do believe that a lot of the response is overreactionary. I do not think that most of the measures they're asking people to take are effective or necessary. I think a lot of them are placebo, and if people just would wash their hands and clean their stinky faces, we wouldn't have to worry too much about this thing.
These are the kind of things you would hope that people would be doing anyway, right?
Exactly.
I would think. All of a sudden, it's news that you got to wash your hands on a regular basis.
People are making songs about it and putting it on social media.
I've seen Chevelle pick up stuff off the floor and eat it.
Which is why I haven't caught it yet.
Is he really the guy that should be preaching about hand washing? I'm just wondering. I'm just saying, because
he's going for that herd immunity. He's trying to build it in one.
I've been in restaurants where Chevelle has sat there and talked to a complete stranger and said, "Excuse me, are you going to eat that?"
I'll eat off the ground in homes I'm comfortable at. I might eat off the ground outdoors if it's not too dirty, and it depends on how much I like the food, honestly. Like, if I'm throwing down on a good burrito,
a lot.
It's got the guac and the sour cream and the machaca.
I've seen him scrape a burrito off the side of his truck and eat it.
Oh, boy. All right. Apparently, that kind of discussion has actually prompted somebody to call in, so I think we're going to have to take this call. Thanks for calling around midnight. You are on the air. Who are we talking to this evening?
Oh, hey, it's Derek Miller.
Derek Miller. How are you tonight, Derek?
I'm doing great. Love the show.
Oh, thank you. Do you like the little caricatures that we we cut to every so often when the internet bandwidth just shrinks down just a little too much?
I think the heads could be a little bit bigger.
Oh, don't tell Chevelle that. His head can get pretty big.
Oh my god.
No idea what you're talking about.
Thank you, Derek. That's exactly what I said.
Okay. Well, so Derek, what are you calling to talk about this
ever
evening?
Complained about my big head before?
Well, we got to talk about COVID, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, initially they had talked about how maybe the summer was going to make it go away, basically. But I think seeing how bad it is in Australia, and it's currently their summer, it doesn't seem like the heat's actually going to make it go away.
Interesting.
Another pipe dream.
Yeah, Australians are dirty people, though. So there's that.
Really? That's the takeaway from this.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're all convicts.
Well, yeah.
Their toilets flush in reverse.
It is interesting that you mentioned that, caller, because there was discussion that the warmer weather would, in theory, do away with the virus the way we normally see our cold and flu seasons go away. And to that end,
it'll happen.
Our illustrious president kept talking about how we were going to be back to normal by Easter. Well, we can see that really happened. Then the other day, he was retweeting posts about firing the I suddenly can't think of his name, and that's terrible, Fauci, because basically he mean-mouthed the president by saying, the administration did not jump on this fast enough and is in too big a hurry to try and send us all back and into the open where we could potentially spread this all over again. So yeah, it's very interesting because there are these conflicting reports coming out of the government. It seems that the administration itself is pushing to get us all back to work. And what does he say? Reopen the company by May. However, several of the medical professionals, including Fauci, are saying, "Whoa, let's not be so hasty here. We might be pushing this till June or even later."
Well, I think that may be truer depending on the locations you're in. Like where I am right now, I think in Colorado, they might be a little behind the curve as far as when the first cases started showing up, and then as a result, when the last ones will trail off. The population.
I've heard Colorado's behind the curve on a lot of stuff.
Not as high. Oh, hush. So I think there are parts of the country right now that should be open because their populations are not as large. The biggest problem we've had, and I don't know if we talked about it, probably not because we haven't done a show in forever, but one of the things that's contributing to, maybe we did, I think we might have done it right before we went off the air. One of the things contributing to the spread of COVID is wealth. Did we talk about that at all?
Wealth?
Yeah.
No.
Because you're asking people to stay at home and isolate, but broke people don't travel anyway. The biggest problem with poorer populations is there are usually more of them and they're kind of condensed in a larger area. But when you talk about these rural areas like parts of Wyoming, like up here at the ski resorts and all that stuff, that's because wealthy people are traveling. And there was, I don't know if Joe, if you want to try to pull it up, but there was an article in the New York Times where they actually showed the patterns of movement for people.
I'm not trying to pull up nothing, CJ. I got so many buttons going here already. I'm not trying to add any more to this mix.
Well, long story short, they use the location data that they get from cell phones, and it shows that wealthy people, it was easier for them to stop moving because they can. They have the money, they have the resources, they have the stockpile. The sales of bunkers went up. The LA Times had an article talking about how all of a sudden bunkers were popular, and rich people are going out and buying bunkers to hold up for this type of thing. But poor people got to go to work. And if they don't,
I was going to say, poor people travel a lot. They just travel to and from work, and they're usually taking public transportation. They're more likely to get infected than pass on an infection.
Exactly. So when you have, for instance, with the ski resorts, that was the first place that this really hit in Colorado because it was at the height of ski season in the winter, and you had all these wealthy people coming from the coasts into these areas. Same thing happened in like rural areas in the South, Georgia, all that kind of stuff. All the snow bunnies come out and they want to go off to their little winter playgrounds. They took all their infections down there with them, and now they go to these smaller areas. Fortunately, here in Colorado, because they are prepared for the giant boom in population, ski resort areas have enough hospital beds to accommodate the situation now that they're all gone. But if you're talking about some of these little rural hunting grounds and that type of stuff in the east, the southeast, and central southwest, they're not prepared for that type of thing. And it's not because, Jim Bob flew off to Shanghai and came back with COVID. It's because some guy went on a business trip, because they were still flying around until Trump shut down the airports, and they still would be. So that's one of the issues I have when people always want to say he didn't act fast enough. They're going to do what they're going to do because they have the money to do it.
You know what the problem with this is? I can't thank the caller for calling because Chevelle doesn't stop talking.
Well, he brings up an interesting point with Trump. I mean, I hate to try and defend Trump because I really don't like the guy, but what do you guys think about him on his early call trying to cut off all travel to China, and everybody giving him a hard time, calling him xenophobic, and then if we had just cut it off, it probably would have bought us a couple of days or maybe even a week.
Well, all right. Before we get into answering that, I want to say thank you very much. I got to free up the phone lines for another call, but thank you very much for your call. Please keep watching the show and call back later, okay?
Thanks, yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. You know what?
And that brings up an interesting point, because if you watch more than just the traditional media, then you'll see the response to what people are saying about how the media is presenting it. Early on in this thing, they were like, oh, you don't need to do this, he's overreacting, blah, blah, blah. And then when he goes and does this stuff, they say he's stepped too far. And my problem is, I personally don't like when government takes over anything. I think people need to practice more common sense and stop looking for saviors to come along and tell you how to live your life. But, the world's irresponsible people.
Here's the thing I want to say about that situation. Trump keeps talking about how, hey, look at all I did. I was the first guy to jump on and block the people from China from coming over here and bringing the virus, and I am the one calling it the Chinese virus. And yet now some of the medical officials are saying, as it turns out, it might have been up there in Northern California in December, meaning maybe it didn't come from China. Maybe we really did send it over there.
No. That simply isn't correct. Okay, the fact is it did break out in China first. But you said Northern California, which probably has one of the largest Chinese populations in the United States of America. You've got San Francisco, which has a huge Chinatown. Same with New York.
Yes,
There's always
but
these
what
major
I'm
populous
saying
areas on the coast
is that,
and I'm not saying it is a Chinese disease. I'm not saying it's not. It's a virus.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we can blame anybody at this point, because apparently the earliest documented cases may have been here, not in China.
The earliest documented cases in the U.S. We don't know what the earliest documented case is.
That's true. We don't, and the Chinese aren't forthcoming. But that having been said, what we can all agree on is that nobody knows where this started, and for somebody to be pointing fingers, whether it's them at us or us at them, is really not productive.
If the first case was in Wyoming, then I might say you'd have a stronger case. But it's in Northern California. If it's Northern California, Southern California, New York, or any of the major ones, Chicago, Denver, any of those cities or something like that, those are very migratory cities. Any of those cities where you have major travel hubs are more prone to it. And then the types of populations that travel through those hubs and their patterns will tell you how it is. The fact that these things broke out just before and just after Chinese New Year, that's when a lot of people were traveling for that specific reason, to take part in the celebrations related to Chinese New Year.
Well, that's very, very interesting information, and it can't be discounted. But I think we cannot conclusively say that this started here or there, and we should just leave that out of the equation. What is important is that it is here, and trying to rush back to work or to restart the economy at the potential risk of potentially millions of people is foolish.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I did see our loyal viewer, Tracy. She commented on the Facebook page that article you mentioned from the New York Times, as coronavirus deepens inequity, inequity worsens its spread. It basically, I don't know if you see my share screen, but it's just an article talking about how basically the lower income economic people are more likely to catch the disease. Also, they're more likely to die from the disease. So, it's a real 1-2 punch bad situation for poorer people.
Wow. Yeah, I think that is definitely the case. I'm disappointed that Tracy didn't call in with that information, but I can see why she perhaps wanted to put it there on a post so that everybody could read it. That having been said, however, I think we're actually overdue to take our first break. That's the impression I'm getting. It's really kind of hard to keep track of the clock and everything else with all these buttons that I'm pushing. But you know what?
I stopped wearing a watch weeks ago. I have no
I'm surprised you got out of your pajamas.
Well, it was warm today.
He stopped taking showers weeks ago.
I would be wearing my Snuggie.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I don't think I want to see that, come to think of it. Anyway, we are live. If you want to join the conversation, I'm chuckling to myself because I'm looking at the video feed, and as soon as we inserted the phone number, you guys went back to those caricatures. You can give us a call, 951-356-6882. That is the number to call. We are live if you are watching on Tuesday, April the 14th, and we hope you're enjoying the show tonight. We are going to be coming back right after this.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey. Okay.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
America's veterans are more than a source of pride. They're a source of strength. When our veterans thrive, our communities thrive. With your support, our veterans can get career and education opportunities as well as benefits they've earned.
Hi, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu. Join me in thanking our nation's veterans. They've given so much. Find out how you can support veterans in our community.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
All right, we are back. We are live. If you want to join in on the call tonight, on the conversation, give us a call at 951-356-6882. This is Around Midnight. I am Joe Carbonetta, and I am joined by Todd Fluker, dancing over there on the right side of your screen, and Chevelle Devine on the left side of your screen, looking quite dapper there this evening. How's it going? It was the whole finger on, yeah.
I'm trying to encourage growth here.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
I need your finger.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I need to be up here like this.
All right.
I hate you so
Curious
much, Todd.
COVID beard.
Full
of COVID.
You know what?
We should talk about COVID hairstyles, man, because all the salons are closed.
I was going to pose the question, how many people have just given up on shaving since COVID?
Yeah, right here.
However, we got a telephone call coming in right now, so let's take that.
Definitely.
Good evening. This is Around Midnight. You are on the air. Thank you for calling. And who are we talking to tonight?
I have to remain anonymous for obvious reasons.
You're anonymous for obvious reasons. Okay. That's always a good thing. So Anonymous, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm hoping that no one's listening, but I'm hoping everybody's listening.
Okay.
I can assure you,
But I'm afraid.
Afraid? What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of the conspiracy theories and which ones are fake news and which ones are real.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to share a couple of them and maybe we can help debunk this?
I heard paper towels are actually how it's spreading.
Wow.
Paper towels are how it is spreading.
It can be spread by paper towels, but I don't think that's how it's spreading.
That's why Trump went down to Puerto Rico and was tossing them all over the place, right?
Yeah.
I'm really rich.
That's why the lines are so long at Costco, I think. It's a secret Trump hub.
Well, so what would be the purpose of perpetuating the virus by paper towels? I'm just curious. I mean, there must be more to this conspiracy theory than simply that they are spreading the virus with the paper towel rules. My question would be why?
I think it has to do with the Federal Reserve. And they need more paper to print the money on, so they're gonna change it to paper towels and toilet paper.
Follow the money.
Interesting. Okay.
Always follow the money.
So I do need toilet paper. That's currency in the future.
Yeah. So it's going to be replacing Bitcoin with Charmin rolls.
Bitcoin with.
You know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think I do know the answer to that.
Now, which one of you guys got the test?
Which
I haven't
text?
left my house in weeks. I no need to get tested.
Oh, the test. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the test is actually how people are spreading it too.
Oh, wow. So you have multiple feelings
personalities.
Multiple personalities.
I feel like I did actually hear that there was some testing site that they were having people go to for testing for COVID, and they said one of the workers there did test positive for it. So I'm like, is this a chicken or the egg situation? Did he catch it because he was literally coming into contact with all these people who more than likely had it? Or
well,
spit and
have you ever had eggs in the morning and then chicken for dinner?
Oh man, have you ever?
I've had eggs and chicken for breakfast.
Egg chicken omelet.
You know what that leads to? That's one of the causes of COVID at the wet
I think
market.
so. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's where it originated. People were saying bats originally, but really it's chicken omelet.
It's COVID Sanders.
COVID Sanders.
We're gonna get sued for sure now.
This guy's good.
Oh my goodness.
Are you available later in the week? We're gonna need to hear from you again.
Yeah, you might have to call in every time we do a show. This is fantastic. You can give us the conspiracy of the day.
COVID
Well,
Sanders. Wow.
I'm here for the people. The better of the people.
Oh, all right.
You gotta get the news out there, man.
Do you have a conspiracy website that they can go to? Maybe I shouldn't be asking about that.
Yes,
I probably shouldn't be encouraging this guy.
I can't share that, or else they'll be able to track me.
Oh, right. I should have. I'm sorry. I should have known the feds would be all over that. Okay. Well, all right. We do really appreciate your call tonight.
Thank you so much for letting me be part of your everything that you're doing.
Oh, the pleasure is truly ours. We'll look forward to you calling in another time, some other show.
Well, you keep on your COVID operation.
Will do. Thanks again and good night.
Good night.
Oh man, that was another good meme I saw where where it was when nobody could find toilet paper or paper towels anywhere, and there's one of those shots of a dog that chewed up a whole roll of toilet paper or whatever, and it's like, the dog chewed up our whole life savings.
Oh, really?
Good stuff.
Wow. Okay, I don't know where to go with that.
Man, that guy's got some good ideas about COVID.
The conspiracy thing was kind of amusing, I will say. It's no, definitely. I'm surprised that Chevelle didn't jump on that, and I think I actually know a few people that would probably side with our last caller. So yeah, I mean, maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know.
I mean, you genuinely do have to follow the money, and you see who is going to benefit from this whole situation. It is. I mean, initially it did seem more so, but nowadays they're saying, everybody is susceptible to it, and there have been deaths in almost every age group. But it really hits the older generation much harder. And you're like, who's going to benefit from that? Me. There might be some Social Security left by the time I retire. That's going to be awesome.
Well, yeah, I thought about that too, because it targets older people, people with pre-existing conditions, and poor people are affected disproportionately. And kids don't really catch it and get it as severe as adults, but they are carriers of it. So you're using the kids to contaminate their grandparents and their sick relatives, kill them off, and then you have nothing left but children, which is a moldable young mind. So you, at the same time, you're getting rid of the generation that's supposed to bring them up, you're replacing them with your own ideals and whatnot. It's kind of.
But come on, if anybody's going to be a part of the Illuminati, you would think it would be all the world leaders. But didn't the British PM get it?
Yeah, but he's not dead yet, though, is he?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta say this.
It was a red herring.
Not that I buy into any of the conspiracy theory stuff myself, but if anybody was going to start a conspiracy here, or if we're following the money, if anybody seemed to have something to gain from the conspiracy or from the virus, doesn't it seem to be the toilet paper and paper towel manufacturers themselves and the grocery stores that sell them? I mean, they seem to be the guys making out like bandits
not so much
here.
Because there's a shortage. I mean, clearly the only winners in this is pharma. That's it. Pharmaceuticals. They're the ones creating the tests. They're the ones supplying hospitals with pretty much everything they need, not only for the patients they already have. This is all of a sudden this huge windfall for the automotive industry, who can now convert their factories for all the cars and trucks they couldn't sell. They're now being able to pump out these respirators and whatnot, which some say is actually not the most effective way to treat it. You're treating a symptom, which is fine. It keeps a person from dying, but it would be a lot more helpful if you actually had given them something to help them not get that severe in the first place. So it's big industry and big pharmaceuticals that are going to come out on top.
Well, I got to say this about the auto manufacturers. I'd rather they continue making ventilators than start trying to make drugs, because that would be kind of frightening, personally, I think.
Well, they'll never stop making drugs. And see, now you guys got my conspiracy brain going. The thing that concers me
How did we do that? We didn't have anything to do with that.
No, so you go in and you convert your factory that used to make F-150s, and now you're making respirators. So you have a whole different group of workers or something. They probably are using some of the same workers, but you have different engineers and whatnot that are providing you with all the plans and the specs to program all these machines and whatnot. And part of me just wonders if there's like one or two machines that they program with a slightly different spec to create a slightly different machine that has a slightly different purpose.
What? Where are you?
Saying,
where are you going with this?
They might be manufacturing like little death respirators on the side.
Now, wouldn't that be a deathberator?
Yeah.
So wait,
I don't know.
You're saying a percentage of these machines are designed to
spread
hit the virus more effectively?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Or not necessarily help. Or maybe they're not making respirators at all. Maybe they're making bullets. I don't know. But
wow, that took a turn.
Yeah, I don't. His conspiracies.
Okay
his conspiracies are actually worse than the last caller.
I don't know, man.
I think.
Yeah, I believe the KFC thing more.
No, the CFC.
One thing we can all agree on is the importance of washing your hands, and at least for the time being, wearing a face mask when going out in public. Would you not agree with that, guys?
Face mask, bro.
You don't agree with the face mask?
I don't agree with it.
Why do you not agree with the face mask?
It's gotta help. It can't hurt.
It can't hurt. Most of the time when I disagree with something, it's not because
It's because you just like to be disagreeable.
No, there's maybe a little truth to that, but no, it's not that I don't think it's a good idea.
No,
I don't like when
maybe no.
I don't like when they falsely advertise something. Like, they've been pretty good about it, but they're really pushing these masks like it will literally cure you or keep or protect you.
No,
from
nobody has
getting
said
the
that
disease.
it's protecting.
I have heard people say that it will protect you from catching this disease, and it doesn't. It doesn't. Like you walking around with a mask, and if you're the only person on the street, that's not going to help you to have that mask on. Now, if you walk into the store, I know it's not the point, but that's not the way it's presented.
If someone else has it, they need to cover up. And half the
tell
point
them
is
to cover up.
that there is a long gestation period for the virus, so you do not know if you have it. So you could be walking around, oh, why am I wearing this dumb mask? Oh, I'm like 10 feet away from anybody else. Oh,
and if you're 10 feet away, the chances of you catching it are extremely slim. You're more likely to get it because you touched the shopping cart than the fact that you walked by somebody even if they had it.
Well, then that's another thing that, it seems that an irksome thing that people are getting into is wearing gloves everywhere, and then
the gloves will do you more protection than the mask will.
Yeah.
So would just washing your hands.
And they're going into the store, touching everything, yada yada yada, and then touching their keys, touching their phone, touching everything that they're gonna then take off their gloves and touch again. So what's the point?
Yes, we should wear gloves or masks. I agree.
No, the mask.
Yeah.
I feel like the mask is the main line of defense against it, for keeping all those germs in your face.
Okay.
Good comeback.
I'm gonna say I am perfectly all right with everybody wearing the masks. It may not it may not completely stop it, but something is better than nothing.
Walking down the street with this mask on, you'd be like, "What the heck is wrong with that person?" And 90% of the time, that person would have been Asian.
Something is better than nothing. I mean, we've heard the stories about the bus drivers. There was one bus driver, I believe he was in Michigan. He had been complaining about. He actually posted I think it was a Facebook or a YouTube post after the fact. That he'd been on the bus. There had been a rider on the bus that was just coughing repeatedly and did not even bother to cover their face when doing so. This bus driver posted a video after the fact saying, hey, you need to be respectful of other people. The fact that you can be on that bus with all those people around with this pandemic everywhere and not even bother to try covering your mouth when you cough just shows that you don't care. And the long story short is that bus driver then contracted COVID-19 and died.
Yeah. I personally was, I ride public transportation pretty regularly when I'm leaving the house and going to work.
But let's be honest, though. You should really be wearing a mask and gloves anytime you get on public transportation. Let's be perfectly clear about that.
I try to make that a point, right?
You got people walking in there pissing in the seats, taking dumps in the middle of the aisle. You need to be wearing some kind of protection.
Yeah, right when you get where you're going, you gotta Purell it up, go wash your hands, all that stuff. But yeah, just before everything got officially locked down, I was going to work and I was listening to people like Dr. Drew, who, initially
Dr. Drew,
this thing was overhyped, and I was like, oh, if Dr. Drew says it's overhyped, then it's overhyped. And then recently he's recanted. He's like, oh, sorry about that. Maybe I wasn't as well informed as I could have been. Blah blah blah. This thing's pretty serious.
See, I don't know though.
But I did see when I was riding the bus, the drivers, it seemed to be standard issue. They were wearing masks. Yeah. And I was like,
that
good
I can
for them.
understand because they're being exposed to it all day long. Right?
Yeah. Although on the MTA, they were complaining about that for a long time, that they could not get enough PPE. They got one mask, one glove, not even a pair of gloves, just one glove. And then a teeny little bottle of hand sanitizer, and that was supposed to carry them through the whole thing. Sorry there, CJ. Just had to get that out there.
You don't have to have
one glove.
These medical masks. You don't need the full-blown, filtering down to the umpteenth micron in order to protect yourself from this. Because, again, unless a person is right in front of you and they're coughing or something in your face, which I'm not saying doesn't happen, but you would be better off with a face shield, like the little thing, the visors that people wear to cover their face. That would be just as effective as the medical mask that everybody's running around freaking out about. I think a lot of people are not worrying about the medical mask, but you're creating these mass shortages of resources where they're needed because you're panicking. If you're in your house all day long, you don't need to have a stockpile of 40, 50 medical masks somewhere.
I don't know if I
That's
agree
selfish.
with that.
That's selfish.
I would
Because
agree
if
with
you do
Chevelle
end
on
up
this one. I
contracting
can't believe
it,
I'm
you go to
saying
the
this, but I would
hospital.
agree with Chevelle on that.
If you end up going to the hospital and your doctor doesn't have it, they're having doctors that are dying because they don't have enough supplies, and they're the ones who need it the most.
Speaking of selfish,
law enforcement, all the frontline people, law enforcement, bus drivers, those are the people that need it. If you're not leaving your house, wrap some toilet paper around your face. You bought all of it. Do something else.
I wanted to. You're talking about selfish. I'm convinced at this point that there must be this group of people who have an entire room of their house dedicated to toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and I don't understand this. I do not understand it at all.
And you got a running faucet, folks. I'm just saying, improvise, man.
There are some people, who still do work with, sick people, elderly people on a regular basis, and they do need a disproportionate amount of hand sanitizer.
Uh-oh, we got another telephone call, guys.
Extra precaution.
Hey, thank you for calling around midnight. You are on the air. Who are we talking to this evening?
This is Tracy.
Tracy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. I wanted to comment about what you guys were saying about toilet paper. The CEO of Walmart actually came out and said over the weekend that he sold so much toilet paper in the last month that every single person in America could have their own roll.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
That's how much toilet paper he sold.
That's
he actually really asked people to just shop a week to week, and it would help a lot.
Yeah, I know, because Chevelle is actually taken to using fig leaves from the tree in his backyard, I think.
I don't wipe my butt. Come on, dude.
I thought he was using the shells.
Oh, right. That's right. He did say something about shells once upon a time. You have a good memory, Tracy. You really do.
Well, first of all, you have to go out week to week, so you can't shop for 2 weeks. You have to go out again and possibly be exposed to any number of animals still on the street out there running around with COVID-19. That's what you want, Tracy?
Okay. You don't need industrial quantities of toilet paper. Buy your normal amount of toilet paper.
I mean, I don't know, man.
That's all I'm saying. You don't need to have a room in your house dedicated as a shrine to the god of TP. Like, buy normal amounts of stuff, and there will be enough for other people. There shouldn't be hoarding. We have no supply chain or demand chain problems.
Yeah.
People just need to buy regular quantities of stuff.
Yeah, building shrines to the great Cornholio. Ridiculous.
But the other thing that I wanted to say in regards to, you guys were talking about human behavior, specifically cultural behavior, as in what cultures think it's acceptable to sneeze and cough in public and what cultures don't. And I'm going to say this from a teacher standpoint, because I work with young children.
Oh, okay.
And, well, I mean, I work with children. Like, some of this is taught at home. Unfortunately, a lot of times it isn't taught at home. I had a student physically cough on me, and when I just stopped what I was doing and looked at him, he's just like, what?
I apologize.
And it
I'm
was
trying
the
to get that
students
kid to
around
stop doing
him
that.
who said something to him, this is not appropriate. You shouldn't have done that.
Well,
he's just like,
in contemporary society, there have been reports of people who have gone out and done that intentionally, as some type of retaliatory response, and have literally been arrested for assault, for coughing or sneezing intentionally on somebody now.
yes. And they're also going out and licking and spitting on produce and things at the store.
Yeah, that was Chevelle again.
No, that wasn't me, bro. If produce get into my face, it's not going back on the shelf. I'm sorry. This is just not going to happen. It might not make it to the door. Definitely not going to make it to the cash register. This is not happening.
Okay.
Here's the other thing, though. I know you guys are talking about in like Asian countries, in China specifically, you don't cough in public. You don't sneeze on public transportation. You hold that in. That is one of the rudest things you can do in their society, is do that. So wearing masks, they have a completely different idea culturally of what is acceptable. They're very communal, so they think about other people in a way that Americans are very individualist, and they do not. So they would see sneezing as affecting other people. We don't think like that, unfortunately.
I've seen a lot of Americans that I don't think at all, but anyway.
Huh?
I said I've seen some Americans that don't apparently think at all.
Oh no, they don't think.
But yeah, I've definitely
there's very
seen
little
that,
thinking going on right now. There's
I
a lot of
believe I
reacting,
remember
not a lot of thinking.
seeing some articles about Japan and the COVID spread there, and yeah, you see a lot of Japanese people. They wear masks on a regular basis just to protect themselves, or especially if they're sick, to protect everyone else.
Yeah,
That's
but Chevelle says that doesn't work.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I don't have a problem with people wanting to wear a mask. I have a problem with the way that it's presented as a curative solution. And
Nobody has said it's a curative anything.
No,
They're talking
Joe,
about
that's not
protecting
true.
other people
I get
by
it.
keeping
You
your
can stop
spittle
yelling at
from
me about
flying
it.
through
Oh my
the air.
gosh. Good
Joe, did you
grief, man.
just have
I'm
some
sorry,
spittle
Joe. Wear
fly
your
through the
mask.
air?
It's going to be okay.
Fortunately, I had the pop screen here that you can't see, to keep the spittle from hitting the microphone and infecting everybody,
So glad you're wearing your mask on the air.
I guess I just have a problem with being told that I have to do it.
That's really what it boils down to. Now the truth comes out.
I do.
Yes,
I have a problem with being
you
told
have a
that I have to
problem
do it.
with being
And
told
the-
to do
the
anything,
biggest
Chevelle.
problem
We
that I
all
have
know
is-
that.
What? The biggest problem that I have
Yes.
is when it becomes an issue where it's enforced by the gun. Like in San Bernardino County, for instance, they're talking about arresting you and fining you up to $1,000 if you're in public without one. I think that's a bit extreme and totally unnecessary.
Is it? I don't know.
On that?
Yeah, but the fact that they put that out there
backed
as a
off on that.
solution in the first place, it's clearly evidence of the fact that they're pushing closer and closer and closer to a police state. Why don't you have your officials and everybody come out and lead by example, number one? If it's really something you want everybody to do, the next time I see a press conference, everybody better be having a mask on, everybody better have gloves on, and everybody better be living the thing they're commanding all of their subjects to live.
Well,
I don't
the
like
reality is, if you
hypocrisy,
do
and I
it-
don't like it when you're telling people they have to do it, and you're gonna, especially because it's always gonna disproportionately affect the people who are already affected the most by the situation.
I'm just saying,
Yes,
it's
that's
kind of
true.
difficult to have a conversation when
heard-
you got this thing on your face like this. It's sort of difficult to do a press conference like this.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not difficult
he's
at all.
setting a good example.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. This is perfectly fine.
Wait, are those your boxers? Oh my God!
Oh, you didn't see that? There's a YouTube video going around on how you can use men's boxers as a mask.
I haven't seen
I'll
it
find it
personally,
for
but I
you.
did hear about it. Yes, I think I have heard of it.
Pretty simple, but oh, never mind.
Pretty simple. Chevelle's tried it.
Well, Tracy, thank you
Never
so
mind.
much for your call this evening. It is truly a pleasure to speak with you, and we're really glad you called in tonight.
Have a good night.
You too. All right, guys, you know what? I think we're supposed to have taken another break like a long, long time ago. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I suppose we should... What's that? I didn't hear you, Todd.
Our producers are really getting ticked.
Yeah,
Better
probably.
go to that break.
Probably so. So we're going to be back right after this.
You are not your diagnosis.
A medical chart is not your identity.
And vision loss does not define you. Your drive shows who you are.
And you are not alone.
Because we are driven too.
To be a beacon of strength, a champion of courage.
An advocate for hope.
You are not alone.
Because we are stronger together.
We drive the research for the cures we're finding.
We're fighting macular degeneration
LCA.
Retinitis pigmentosa.
and the entire spectrum of blinding retinal diseases.
We fund.
We fight.
We
win.
We
are
the foundation
fighting blindness. Together,
We are fighting blindness.
join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
The lost cause. The ignored.
The impossible.
Meet your match. A go-to-world Girl Scout identifies a big problem, creates a project, and takes the steps to solve that problem.
We stand out because we stand for more. Gold Award Girl Scouts don't just change the world for the better, we change it for good.
Oh, Vanessa. You gonna text her back?
Nope. I'm high. I'm gonna hit the treadmill.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Nope. I'm high. How about they come over?
Where?
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
All right, we are back right here in the final few minutes of the show this evening. Hey guys, how's it going? Any final thoughts here? Because we're almost out of time.
That's a tasty jam. Still.
You enjoying that, are you, Todd?
I thought he was eating food. I immediately thought he had like some strawberry preserves or something. I was looking like, what is he? I'm disappointed now.
All right, well, Todd's enjoying the COVID break, I guess. You know, you're working from home these days, right, Todd?
Oh, yeah. I am super thankful. I guess, you know, I'm technically an essential worker. And thankfully, my company, they were, you know, really on Johnny on the spot in getting things figured out and getting everybody working from home in a very timely fashion. So, yeah, they issued laptops like crazy. I know that that day when, what was it? You know, it must have been 3 weeks ago now when San Diego officially went on lockdown and they were like, LA's next. LA's going to be in the next couple days. So everybody was, you know, up in arms and like, hey, let's figure this out.
Okay.
So thankfully, yes, I'm still getting paid.
and you as well.
Yeah. So thankfully, I'm not sitting here waiting on pins and needles for some
stimulus check. Well,
from the
apparently,
government.
yeah, Chevelle said he got his. He said he did all
I
right.
ain't got mine.
Yep.
I ain't got mine. So how is
coming.
it being distributed? Is it all being distributed as paper checks, or is it
No,
some of
it depends
direct
on how you
deposit?
did your taxes. If you did your taxes and sign up for direct deposit, and if that information is still the same, they're going to use that same method to pay you. If you did paper check, you're going to get a paper check, and it's going to take longer.
Okay.
So it was directly deposited to me.
I've heard from somebody today that they got theirs direct deposited today. So I guess those are going out
this week. Just as a point of information, the death rate is just under 4%, which is what I think it was projected to be for COVID, according to the CDC's website. Total cases is at it's about 580,579 and 5.
You know what?
And then
Speaking
total
of that,
deaths is 22,252. What?
We got that information there too. You know, if you want more information on the COVID-19 situation, the virus, things you can do to protect yourself, how to get tests and that type of thing, the first place to start is at www.cdc.gov/coronavirus. There's all kinds of useful information there, and hopefully the government's being square with us on that. So, you know,
We've got such a great track record, they would never let us down.
Definitely want to check that out.
Speaking
Definitely
of
want to
that,
go there.
Speaking of being square, have you guys heard anything about those stimulus checks, about whether we're gonna have to pay them back or?
Oh,
you know,
I would count on that. I would count on that.
Such thing as a
nobody
free
said
lunch,
anything,
bro.
but I would figure that come next tax season, they're gonna just tack that on to your your adjusted gross income, and they'll want it back. That's my guess. All right, I have nothing. I have no official information that proves that, but that's what I'm betting at this point.
Yeah, I've heard something similar, and that sounds kind of messed up. I mean, are they just gonna tax you on that amount, or are they actually going to list that entire amount as, or like subtract that entire amount from your tax return or tax, a refund?
The wait, let's go to the president on that. What was that?
Yes.
No, which one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so
there's your answer.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right.
Count on it.
Yeah. Sad but true.
So yeah, everybody out there, don't go ordering crazy from Amazon just because you think you got 2 G's in my pocket. What?
Well, according to an article on Forbes, the funds are not taxable. until they change the law.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As soon as the emergency is over.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's the website, www.cdc.gov/coronavirus. That's the place to go. That should be your first stop for more information. We hope you've enjoyed the show this evening. It's kind of an abbreviated version. We've been doing an hour and a half, but thanks to COVID, we're down to an hour tonight. For myself and Todd Fluker and Chevelle Devine, wanted to say thank you all.
Find us on Facebook.
What's that? Find us on. That's right. Find us on Facebook.
Find us on Facebook. Like and subscribe here on YouTube. Like our videos, yo.
And you can also you can shout out to us on Twitter at Chevelle Devine, at Joe Carbonetta, at Todd Fluker. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I still don't know what you're doing with that, Todd, but I'm a little afraid.
Parakeet.
Oh, it's a parakeet. All right, great. All right, well,
the hungry chinchilla.
We'll see you guys next week. Well, no, maybe we'll see you soon. How about that? We'll leave it at that. We'll see you soon.
All right, good night, Joe.